On June 18, 2026, Vancouver's BC Place hosted a team looking for its first ever World Cup victory. Up to this point, the Canadian men's national team had never won a match in the history of the tournament. Canada immediately pinned Qatar into their own penalty area. Every time a Qatari player touched the ball, 3 red shirts moved to challenge, relentlessly closing the space and forcing turnovers. This diagram shows the resulting imbalance. Canada controlled the ball for 79% of the match, generating 33 shots. Qatar managed exactly 2. These numbers describe a total structural collapse of the pitch geography. Qatar was no longer playing a competitive match. They were simply occupying space. Sile Larin ended the scoring drought at 16 minutes, converting Canada's first ever World Cup goal. That opening goal broke the Qatari defensive structure, widening the gaps between their center backs and disrupting their passing lanes. Jonathan David exploited those gaps immediately.
He scored in the 29th minute and added another in first half stoppage time. Canada went to the locker room up 3-0. The Qatari squad faced the reality of an insurmountable deficit, with no tactical answer for the pressure. The remaining 45 minutes became a test of how much pressure the Qatari defense could absorb before failing entirely. Qatar's frustration manifested as physical aggression early in the second half. The defensive effort shifted from tracking runners to making late, dangerous challenges. Hammam Al-Amin received a straight red card for a reckless foul, leaving Qatar with 10 men. The match shifted again when Asim Madibo made a high-velocity challenge on midfielder Ismail Kone. The impact broke Kone's leg and resulted in a red card for Madibo. The stadium went silent as medical staff rushed onto the field to treat the injury. This grid illustrates the tactical vacuum. Canada's full 11 now surrounded 9 isolated Qatari nodes, creating an impossible defensive task. The catastrophic injury turned the remaining minutes into a grim, punishing reality for the Qatari defense. Canada resumed the attack immediately, moving the ball wide to stretch the 9-man defense across the entire width of the pitch. Nathan Saliba added a 4th goal at the 64-minute mark, curling a 20-yard free kick into the top corner. Physical exhaustion forced a 5th goal 10 minutes later, when Mohamed Manai deflected the ball into his own net while trying to clear a cross. Jonathan David finished his hat-trick in stoppage time to bring the score to 6-0. This final sequence of goals completed a total continental demolition. The tension broke at the final whistle as players from both squads engaged in a physical skirmish on the pitch. The result finalized the first Men's World Cup victory in Canada's history. This chart shows the regional significance of the match. The 6-0 score is the largest margin of victory by a CONCACAF team in the history of the tournament. The blowout updates the global perception of Canada's offensive capabilities, proving they can dismantle defenses with clinical precision. This group table shows Canada sitting at the top of Group B with a significant goal differential. One more positive result will send Canada to the knockout rounds for the first time in their history. This success is balanced against the loss of Ismail Kone, whose tournament is likely over due to his leg injury. The question is whether Canada can keep this pace without their starting midfielder, and if Jonathan David can maintain his lead in the Golden Boot race. Subscribe to follow this World Cup run and stay tuned for the next tactical breakdown.